Welcome back to LittleLee and Rose. My name is Summer Noel, and today we're going to do a 30-ounce tumbler with a handle. We're going to use the handle mold that's available on our website, littleLeeandrose.com, and we're going to go ahead and fill it with epoxy. I mixed one full batch of epoxy, separated it into 3 small cups, and then mixed 3 different glitter colors together. I used Falcor, Jay, and Rasputin. How you design your handle is all personal preference. I chose this marbled look to match the tumbler since we are going to do a hydro dip. When you're working with our epoxy, you want to mix equal parts A and B together, mix thoroughly for 3 minutes, and then apply to your tumbler or mix in your additives and use as you like. When you make your handle, you want to make sure it's cured for a full 72 hours before you remove it from the mold. This is important because you want it to be nice and firm, and that's going to give it a nice solid surface to do your scoring with your X-Acto knife when you're ready to add it to your tumbler. The next step is to prep your cup. You're going to want to sand the base of your cup and then spray paint it the color of your choice, and go ahead and use spray adhesive and apply the glitter of your choice. I used Falcor as my base color, and then I'm going to apply a full liberal coat of epoxy. I used about 30 grams for this first layer. Then I go ahead and take our glitter color J, and I'm going to sprinkle it over the tumbler. This is going to give it a real beautiful swirl look. The next step I'm going to do on this tumbler is I'm going to hydro dip it. You're going to take a bucket of water, spray paint the color of choice. I'm going to tap the bucket to give it a beautiful swirl, dip it down inside, slosh it around, and pull it out. And now you have this gorgeous marbled look. When you go to apply your handle, you're going to take an X-Acto knife and score the bottom of the posts of the handle. Then you're going to mark where your handle is going to be attached to and score on the cup as well. Then you're going to take super glue and go ahead and press that down, let it set until the super glue is completely firm and held in place. The super glue isn't meant to hold it permanently there. It's meant to just stabilize it until the next layer of epoxies can get on top of the handle, and that's what's going to really cement this handle down to the cup. That's the most important part, but the super glue is just there to kind of hold it there as a placeholder so that you know where your handle is and it keeps it there in place. This next part that you see me do is totally optional. I just thought it added a little extra flair and kind of brought the gold that's in the handle down onto the cup and just kind of made it blend really well. I'm using UV resin and I'm adding gold leaf. I'm just going to be adding it to the base and to the top as a small ring around the top and a ring around the bottom. And the UV resin is curable under UV light. You can also just set it out in the sunlight. I'm going to put a layer of UV resin over all of the gold leaf, and that's going to really just hold it in place when we go ahead and do the full layer of epoxy so that the gold leaf isn't floating around on the cup. We're going to add the gold leaf to the bottom and the top as you see me doing here, and then we'll get on to the next step. Once we finish this step, we're going to go ahead and start applying our layers of epoxy. That's really going to solidify holding that handle on. Once the epoxy cures over the handle, it's going to really give it some good grip and make it more stable. So we mixed equal parts A and B of the LittleLee and Rose epoxy from our website, and we mixed it very well for about 3 minutes. Then we put it on our cup turner here that you see me using. That is on our website as well. It's a special spinning machine. If you have not seen these, it holds the cup and just kind of rotates it as you go because epoxy is self-leveling. And so we get a nice smooth coat over that. We went ahead and coated the entire handle as well as around the base of the handle. And that, like I said, is going to really hold that handle in place. We're going to do more than one coat, but after that first coat, you want to let it cure up for about 12 hours. And then I just cut a strip of heat transfer vinyl. You can find this vinyl at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and I cut a nice skinny strip, and I'm using a embossing heat gun instead of a heat press to go ahead and heat this vinyl up and press it down with a towel, and that's going to make that vinyl adhere right onto the cup, and it's going to clean up that line and give it a real nice finish along the line of that gold leaf foil. Now this next step is very optional. If you like the way the cup looks as is, you can just leave it and add your next coats of epoxy, but you know, I like to jazz it up. So I used my Cricut machine that I purchased at Hobby Lobby, and I am adding the holographic cheetah print vinyl, and I'm just using a transfer tape to pick up the pieces and place it around the tumbler. The next step is going to be putting on our final coat of epoxy. For each layer of epoxy, I'm using about 35 grams of epoxy. This is going to coat the cup completely and give it a nice smooth finish. Now I'm using a 30-ounce tall and skinny here. If you use a smaller cup, you can use a smaller amount of epoxy and save on materials. If you need more in-depth instruction on how to use epoxy, you can find more tutorials on our YouTube channel, LittleLee and Rose. I hope you guys were able to learn something. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and I'll try to get to all your questions. If you're looking for more in-depth tutorials, you can also check our full library of videos here on YouTube. Happy crafting, y'all!